All right, and welcome to the Third Railed podcast, where we talk about anything and everything O-scale trains. I'm your host, Mark, and with me tonight is Caleb, Corey, and Mike again. Hello, everyone.
Hey, Mark, how are you?
I'm good. How about you guys?
What's going on, everybody?
Doing good, man.
Good.
We're here for another episode, and unfortunately, Lark could not join us tonight.
We shall carry on. We will meme in his place.
Yeah.
He should be back in the next one. So, yeah, tonight's topic, we're just going to be talking about train shows. Train show season is well underway. Probably started late December, early January. A lot of shows have been happening the past few weekends. Amherst happened early February, I want to say, right?
Late January?
Yep.
Up in Massachusetts.
Allentown just happened this past weekend, and yeah, York is coming up in 2 months, so a lot of big shows have been happening. Yeah, what shows have you guys gone to lately?
I guess I'll start if you guys.
Go ahead.
So recently I went to the train show in Thomasville, North Carolina. It's been a while since I've done one, but this time it was sponsored by Cross Ties Restaurant and Mike's Trains, my favorite go-to store. Little plug there, but that one was really cool. It was definitely heavily HO scale, but I was able to pick up a lot of good O scale deals, and they had an original Blue Comet set there, which was kind of cool to see.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Oh, yeah. The guy wanted a lot of money for it that I did not have, but...
You still bought it anyways. No.
Put it on the credit card. But yeah, that was the most recent show I've been to, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I think the last show I went to was the Greenberg show in Edison, New Jersey. Was in December. Was the Christmas show was the last one I went to. That's a pretty good show. December is always the best one. It's by far the most crowded. By far the most dealers and stores show up. Grabowski's has a really good showing there. A lot of layouts, great stuff to see, and it's a mixed show of HOOS, all sorts of good stuff, clothes, T-shirts, hats, paintings, all the good stuff. So that's a pretty good show. And then I last year, so January 23, I went to the Amherst show for the first time, which was a really cool show to see. It's kind of like gives you a flavor of what York is. It's across 4 or 5 buildings. At what's called the Big E, which is the Eastern Exposition Facility up in Amherst, Massachusetts. And it's a multi-gauge show, so you got a little bit of everything. Got HO, and HO is by far the most dominant. But there's a lot of O stuff. But also, too, what's really great about Amherst, it's like all the manufacturers show up. So Lionel was there, Broadway Limited, Bachman, Atlas. So they're all displaying all their stuff, prototypes and things. So it's a really cool show to go to meet some of the folks. They actually got to meet Ryan and Dave at the Lionel booth, which was pretty neat. So it's a great show to get to if you're in the Northeast area.
You got to meet the masterminds behind, the stuff that we want made, and then they go and make it, which is really cool.
Yeah, and they're super gracious. They were happy to stop and talk to everybody, answer questions, and take constructive criticism and feedback. They want to hear that stuff. They want to make a better product. And they're open to doing stuff that people want. They're like, tell us what you want. If you have if you know of something that exists that we can go record a sound for to put on the next model, let us know. We'll go do that. So they want to make the better product. They want people to reach out and tell them that kind of stuff. So really nice guys.
That's definitely awesome to hear that they want to make the people happy.
I definitely have a suggestion of a locomotive that I would like to see get made. It may or may not be my profile picture on Discord.
Oh.
Not enough Wabash out there, huh?
Nope. Although they've been pretty good about getting Wabash stuff out lately. Like 2022 had the Atlantic, which I got. And then they had the passenger cars, which weren't era correct. But it was still cool to see, mid to late 19th century Wabash passenger cars get made. If only they made a 440 to go with it, then that set would be complete.
Doesn't Mr. Muffins, hasn't he done some custom Wabash runs for stuff?
Yeah, he's done like 1 or 2 custom runs of Wabash E units. And then with MTH, he did some GP35s in the late 1960s, or not late, or like late era Wabash scheme of like the blue body with just like the gold, with the gold striping down the center of the engine. And then he's also doing Alco PAs in the same scheme.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's been doing a lot. Like he also just announced Wabash, a custom run of Wabash Fish Billy Hoppers, which I might go for. I don't know. I don't know how his pre-order process works.
I think you have to put a deposit, but also he has like a layaway program, so you can kind of, make payments to get there. So which is nice that you can work your way up to it if you can't afford it right up front. So.
Yeah.
What about you? What shows you go to? What's out in the Midwest and Chicagoland?
So coming up in 2 weeks is the Springfield Train Fair in Springfield. It's hosted by the Springfield Train Club, which is an HO club, and one of the guys that started coming out to Monticello again, he's actually the president of that club, and he's been telling me that this year is going to be one of the biggest years that they're having since the pandemic. And this show started up 2 years ago again. Yeah, 2022 is when it started up again. And yeah, he said it's going to be pretty good this year, so I'm excited.
What is that? That's this spring?
Yep, it's coming up in 2 weeks.
Oh, 2 weeks. Awesome.
2 weeks from today.
And how big is it? Is it a big facility? Is it like a expo center, or is it across multiple buildings, or?
It's in one building. I think it's 33,000 square feet. I think that's what it said on the poster. So yeah. I think they said at one point it was in multiple buildings.
Sounds like that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah,
that's awesome.
It's mainly like
Sounds
HO.
like it's gonna be a big show.
Yeah, it's the biggest show that I go to every year since I'm not able to make it to the Wheaton show, which is decently big. It's in 2 buildings. It used to be in 5 like 10 years ago, and then obviously the pandemic had a big hit, and then I think just the rise of people selling on the internet, I think that's also what makes the show smaller, which is upsetting because it's just fun to walk through a train show and actually get to see everything in person, and you get to touch everything, and you actually get a feel for what you want to get.
Yeah, nothing compares to seeing and having everything in front of you.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. And then sometimes you're just looking at renderings and stuff, you don't actually know what the color and the product's going to look like. So buying it at a show is a lot better that way.
Yeah.
And you can't haggle online either. You can't walk into somebody with a handful of cash and say, "I'll make you a deal," and walk out with it right there.
Right.
No shipping, no tax.
Yeah.
Nothing like coming home with a bag full of impulse pies.
Mm-hmm.
You're right about that.
99%. Oh, you go ahead. You good?
I say I'm going for 3 things and I walk out with 7. Or I had no intention of buying, this new rail line that I've never bought anything for. But hey, it was really cool. So now I have to start collecting more of these because now I got one, so I need to get more.
I've been to so many shows where I said I'm just gonna look, I'm not gonna buy, and then I come home with a bag full of stuff.
Yep.
I always go to a show expecting to buy. Like, how can you not go to a show and not buy anything? That's the hard part.
Yeah, it's very hard.
I was supposed to buy scenery, but
scenery intensifies.
Yeah.
That happened to me before. I went to a show and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna buy any trains or anything right now. I'm just gonna buy like some track, and I forgot what other stuff. And I still came home with trains.
It's so hard not to, man.
Especially when you get a good deal, because if you pass up on it, you may never get it again.
Exactly.
And if you see it, and if you're at the show, buy it when you see it. Don't be like, well, I'll come back later, see if it's still there.
Right, because it'll be gone.
It will be gone.
Oh yeah.
I was
And then
actually on the opposite end of that a couple of years ago. I went to the Wheaton show for the first time in years, and it was the first time that it opened up since. No, it was running like at the tail end of the pandemic, but I just went when the show had it. So the way that the Wheaton show runs, it's pretty much the first or second weekend of every month. And I went New Year's weekend, like it was January 3rd, something like that. So very early in the year. And there was a guy that was selling an Eastern style Wabash caboose for like $65. And if you go on eBay, those things go for like $120 to $150, like way higher than what you probably would want for. So I find the same caboose at the show for $65. I was like, okay, I'll think about it. And I keep walking around, and then I come back to it, and it's still there, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. So I buy it, and as the guy is packing it up for me, he's like, I've had multiple people look at this, and they're going to be really mad when they find out that it's gone. I was like, well, at least it's me that's taking it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although sometimes you get lucky. I remember one show I went to, and the guy had a 4-pack of New York Central Premier passenger cars, and I was like, I don't know. And it was the second day of Greenberg. It was the Sunday afternoon. It was towards the end of the show. I walked past, and we're heading on it, and he still had them. So I chewed him down to some ridiculous price. It's like, look, either I'll take him home, or you're gonna pack him up and bring him yourself. So why don't you just sell them to me, and I'll take them for you? And he's like, fine. So sometimes, waiting to the end, if you get lucky like that, and it's still hanging around that piece you want, sometimes you can get a really good deal, because it's one less thing these guys have to pack up and bring home.
Yeah,
Definitely, because those guys at Greenberg don't like taking stuff home.
No.
And I remember
They want to leave empty.
that's what Eric Siegel was talking about in one of his York videos, is like at the end of York, like you can really strike down some good deals, because like you said, people don't want to bring this stuff home. They don't want to bring it back with them.
Right. But you run the risk, right? If it's not there when you get back at the end of the show and you miss out, you run that, it's the gamble you take. So.
Yeah.
About 99% of the time, you can at least get $5 to $10 off of the item.
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed. Not once have I paid what they wanted for something when I go to a show. Even if it's just $5, that's $5 less you get to keep in your pocket.
Right.
Yep. No, I'm a jerk. I'm totally aggressive. I walk in, whatever I see, I start. My first offer is always 20% below.
I don't blame you, because they could meet you somewhere in the middle.
Exactly. If I started 20%, you meet me at 10%, I'm like done. So, my dad taught me. My dad used to sell cars. He's like, you lowball them, and you, especially at a show like that where everything's always cash and people want to move stuff and don't want to bring stuff home. And he's like, be super aggressive at those places.
It's something I wish my uncle taught me. He was big into buying and selling S-Gauge, and I started getting into the buying and selling side of things at like 14, 15, and then he unfortunately passed away the fall of 2015. So I never really got a chance to actually learn how to negotiate from him, because the one thing he told me was always just do $5 below what they want for it, and normally that works for me, but I'm gonna have to start trying that 20% thing.
They want to sell the stuff. They're not there to take it home. They're there to move it.
Right.
Some people won't budge, and that's just the way it is. And that's it's something you just can't make the deal sometimes. But most of the times, guys are looking to get stuff, especially the private guys. The bigger you walk up to there's a store in Pennsylvania, Grabowski's, and they're pretty decent online presence, but they come to a lot of the Northeast shows. He will not budge on his prices because he's a big volume dealer.
He doesn't really budge on his prices.
He never budges. It's so annoying. He's always got good stuff too.
Yeah.
But the guys who private sell, the guys with their personal collections, they're selling somebody else's collection. Yeah, they're always open to that. I don't know about you guys, but I've never bought an engine at a show. I'm always wary to buy, an expensive, engine. I don't know if you guys have
I've done it
buy.
more
I
than
usually
once.
only just buy rolling stock and accessories and stuff.
I mean,
I haven't had any problems. I've done it a couple of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, like it's funny. There's one guy I buy a lot of stuff from. My first time going to York was October, and while I was walking around, there's a guy that I normally buy from at Greenberg, and he's like, Corey, I know you like Subway stuff. I got some Subways. I got a Subway set for you, and he actually brought it to Greenberg so that I could buy it from him. So it worked out. But I bought an engine when I was at York too, and it worked fine.
Yeah. He's like, hey, kid, I got candy in the van. Come here. Come show you.
No, but it's funny because, like I said, I buy from him a lot, and he's like, I even got a gift for you. So when I went to Greenberg, I bought the set from him,
Yeah.
and he gave me he knows I like the New York. Y'all know I like the subway stuff. He actually gave me a poster that somebody made of the New York City subway map with like a train and all that. They did like the graffiti. It's really nice.
That's
And he just
oh,
gave
that's
it to me.
sick.
He goes, I know you like subway stuff, so here, I got this gift for you. I was like, oh, okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That also means you're probably buying a lot of stuff from him too. So
Yeah. I bought from him plenty of times. So never
So-
had a bad experience.
okay.
Yeah, I think the only engines that I would actually buy from a train show was back when I was like sort of into HO. Like I would just buy like the cheap like old Tyco stuff. Like I remember I got a Chicago and Northwestern 060, like a really beat up Santa Fe Mikado. Like part of the flange on the leading truck was like gone. So like
Oh,
those are the only engines that I've actually bought from a show. Like normally I'm just looking for rolling stock, which is fine.
I bought a Chicago Northwestern SD70 ACE one time at Greenberg, but it was from a dealer from y'all probably heard of him, Trains and Things, I think it is.
Yep.
He's in
Was he Delaware? Yeah.
Delaware, yeah, he was there, and he's a dealer. He has brand new stuff, and he had a brand new Rail King. It had just came out, the SD70 ACE, and
Yeah.
I bought it from him.
Yeah, I think I remember looking at him. I remember his prices being pretty high. Like he was not he was
His
close.
prices- Yeah, he
was close
starts
to bulk.
high, but he'll make deals with you because he's done it with me before.
Okay. I'll keep an eye out for him when I go in a couple weeks. see what he's
Definitely, he's willing to negotiate because I mean I remember one time he gave me a really low price on something like you said, people don't want to take stuff home, and he was like, just buy it so I ain't got to take it home, Because
There you
he
go.
comes with a lot of stuff. He has like a whole damn near a whole row at
Yep.
Greenberg,
Yeah, he's like middle of the floor on
right?
the left side.
oh,
Uh-huh.
he's big dealers
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. That's what's great about some of these shows too, especially like the Greenberg show, the one in Edison, is that if you go to the show, it's the same people are always in the same spot, so you know where to
Yes.
go.
Yep.
Go hit your favorites first, and then you kind of meander the rest of it.
That's what I've learned to do. Go to the ones that I know about, that I know is gonna have good stuff first, and then I'll circle around and see what everybody else got.
Yep.
Oh yeah. I bought like I got a little risky with it last year, but thankfully I found a test track while I was still at the show, so I could test these out and let myself know if I need to go chew the guy out. But I bought my set of Premier Proto Sound 3 Southern SD24s, $325 in mint condition, which is a steal. It's the powered and unpowered unit,
All right.
and they were flawless.
You
And I was a
basically
little skeptical.
you basically got the dummy for free.
Yeah, because the dummy itself now goes for like 320 by itself. I mean, it's
Wow.
ridiculous how much they go for now. But I was a little sketched out at first. He had them listed at $450, and it also came with a Premier Southern tank car. And I said, "Well, what's the lowest you'll do?" I said, "Well, you do $375." And then he said, "You know what? I'll do $350." I said, I said $320. He said, "Come on, you can spare me $5 at $325 for me to go get a cheeseburger." He said, "I'm just looking to sell them, because he didn't run them. This is just like an individual dude, he only
Right.
had a little table,
Right.
and nobody knew it was there because he had the boxes covered with the Southern tank car.
Oh,
So, like,
okay.
You couldn't tell it was a set of Southern SD24s under that because most people they have them sitting on top of the boxes or something so you can see what it is. This guy just had them still sitting in the box, so I didn't even know that they were there. But when he
Wow.
said and he asked what I was looking for. I said Southern locomotives. He said, "Oh, I got these for you." I said, "I'm selling them as a set." So that was the best deal I have ever gotten by
Yeah, the
far.
good thing is that a lot of the shows they have test track. Like Greenberg, they always have test track.
Oh
I
yeah,
was when I was at York, they had a lot of test tracks, and when I go to the Metka show, they always have a test track.
it's kind of like those sneaker conventions that people go to. How
Yeah.
they have like the people there that test those shoes to see if they're real.
Yes, the authenticators.
Yeah, it kind of feels like that, but for trains.
Yeah,
That's a whole world I'm not even aware that even exists. Sneaker conventions and testers. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know about it because what you call it? My brother got into it for a little bit, but that wasn't much.
I mean, I'm into sneakers, but I don't go to the conventions. I just buy them in the store or online. I don't do all them conventions and stuff.
Yeah, that's a whole different world of expensive for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm only allowed one expensive hobby in the train, so I chose trains. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm robbing myself every day. I'm into cameras and trains. I don't know which one's worse, man.
Don't forget the cheer wine.
Yeah, the Cheerwine addiction strong.
Yeah, I've slowed down a lot with the sneakers since I've been doing the trains more.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Coldplay takes my money, but only when they release a new album or when they come to Chicago. That's my other
Oh.
hobby.
Come on, man, you gotta get your bread.
But yeah. Yeah, what else about train shows? What are some train shows that you guys want to go to? Like a show that you haven't gone to yet, like a dream show that you would like to go to.
Ooh.
Well, they just had what was it? The Big E and the Amherst. I always hear that those are good, so I definitely want to check those out.
Yeah, that's
And
a
there's
great
another
show.
one
It's worth the
called
drive.
First Frost or something like that. I heard about that, so I think I want to check that out when I get a chance.
Yeah, that was this weekend. That just was yesterday and today out in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
That's a big one too. It's somebody said it's like half size of York, so it's a good
Okay.
size show.
Right.
Yeah, York's on my list. I'm since I kind of got back into the hobby in 2019. I kind of learned what it was in 21. I guess kind of people started chatter about it. I'm like, oh, what's that?
Right.
So it's on the bucket list to go.
You'll
So I'd like
definitely
to get
have a
out
good
there.
time. Like I
Yeah.
said, October was my first one, and I'm hooked. Like they have one, I think not next month, in April, and I really wanted to go, but it's just not going to work out. I got some other things going on, but I'm definitely going back in October.
Yeah, I'm going to try and make the one in April because October, when it is October, it's always that same weekend. It falls around that same 18, 19, 20, something like that. That's my son's birthday is always that weekend. So it's like I feel guilty about ditching him for his birthday to go buy trains instead.
You got to get him into trains, and then
I'm trying. We did a little. He likes it, but he comes down sometimes. We had a train set in his room. He's like, I'm kind of bored with it. We packed it up. We're working on it.
There yet.
I'm working on it.
Okay.
York is definitely up there for me. Where I'm in the South, it'd be I think it's like 8 to 10 hour drive for me from North Carolina. So it's a little bit up there, but
It's doable.
I got a buddy Christian who lives up in Pennsylvania. He said he might let me just stay with him for free. So
Yeah,
I
just
could,
make a weekend out of it.
yeah, and then I think he's only like maybe an hour, 2 hours away from York. We just drive up in the morning real early. Go down there. It'd be a lot cheaper that way because hotels they no joke now. But
Yeah. It was a
Yeah,
3-hour drive for me to go there.
oh yeah, York's a bucket list for me because every time I watch a video about York and I see some of the deals like that Atlantic City Camelback that just came out, I seen on one of the videos one of the vendors had it for like $525 or something ridiculously low.
Wow.
Like cost.
Yeah, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. So York's up there for me. It's just it's quite a drive. That's why I haven't been able to pull it off yet. I'm planning to go this upcoming fall, hopefully. We shall see. But
Is there anything down by you that you haven't gone to? Something in the like further south, maybe like Georgia or Florida or something?
one near me is the Hickory Show. I've wanted to go to that, but I've never been. But as far as one in Georgia, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. But there is one in Georgia that I want to go to, and it's pretty big. And then in South Carolina, they always do the Carolinas something. I can't remember the name of it. They do a big show in South Carolina though, near Myrtle Beach. I'd love to go to that. I've been to it one time when I was a kid, but I can't remember that much about it other than they had an HO scale PS4 Southern locomotive, and I still regret not buying it to this day.
A show that, or a few bucket list shows that I would like to get to someday is definitely York. And York is interesting because my uncle that I was talking about earlier, ironically enough, that's where he died.
Oh.
Yeah. So in a way it is kind of bittersweet, and it's cynical because, you know, he died doing the thing that he enjoyed, you know, buying and selling trains. So it's a weird thing.
So he actually passed like at the show?
No. He wasn't at the show. He was in the hotel room when he passed away. I guess his friends left to go get dinner, and then when they came back, he was gone, unfortunately.
Oh, dang, man.
I mean, he was a friend of the family, so he wasn't my actual uncle, but still, I wish I was older so I could like actually get to know him more. So yeah, it's a weird thing with that. But yeah,
I can imagine that's kind of like you want to go, but it feels weird to go.
Yeah,
and I get that.
I get that feeling sometimes with the train museum, the North Carolina Train Museum, because my grandpa would take me all the time when I was a kid. That's where my love of the place came from. And then he died. So sometimes I know what feeling you're talking about. It feels kind of strange, but
like I feel like I have to do it. Like it's just one of those things where it's like, yes, this happened, but like it feels like a disservice to him to not go, you know?
Right.
Yeah. But also too, now you got to think about what we're even doing right now, how social media has changed it, and that it's not just about buying trains, but it's that you get to meet all these people that, you know, you hopefully get to, that you watch on YouTube and chat with on Discord and Instagram, and actually get to go see them in person and go, you know, hang out with them and watch them buy stuff and talk trains. And, you know, it's just trains
part of it.
Yeah. It's just, it's no stress, no BS. Well, I don't say there's no stress because your wallet's stressing, but
yeah.
But, you know, it's not, you know, the everyday world kind of takes a break for a minute, and all you is just kind of hang out and talk about trains with other people who love trains. And it's kind of it's a really cool thing to do, just to kind of just break away and be like, I don't have to worry about all the other nonsense that's going out there. And, you know, you forget about all the other stuff that's going on, and you just have a great time.
Yeah, like it would be really cool to meet you guys someday.
Oh yeah, side note, y'all, I figured out the name of that show. It's the Carolina Train Shows. And then they have like a whole list of them in South Carolina. It was Columbia, not Myrtle Beach. It was Columbia, South Carolina is where they do it at. Figured that out. Yeah, that's the one I want to go to again. It's very big. It's like a whole giant building's taken up. I kind of vividly remember it from my childhood, but that's the one I want to go to.
Does Lionel show up to that one?
I don't believe so. I think Lionel kind of goes to more of the bigger ones. They might. I would assume they'd be at the Hickory show because it's not that far from them.
Yeah, that'd be cool to go see them. Have you been up to the Lionel store, up to their facility up there in North Carolina?
Yes, I believe it or not, where I'm at, you know, I don't care telling people I'm from Mount Airy, North Carolina. I'm only about an hour and 15 minutes away from Concord, so it's just a quick casual drive to the store. And I've met amazing people there like Dave. And then I can't remember the name of the other man that helped me out, but he gave me one heck of a discount at the store. I mean, it's just, you know, they're good people. They won't, you know, try to screw you over.
Yeah.
And then the sale table.
I've heard about the sale table.
I've heard about the sale table too.
I got that Lionel Legacy SW9 switcher for $270.
Oh my God. That is a steal.
Plus the cars.
2 die-cast hoppers that are normally $100 a piece with it as well, for free.
Wow.
I guess
So
it's
it
like
was
it was a set breakup, I guess, or
Yeah, so it was the Cambria and Indiana set that came out with the 4 hopper cars. It was the
Yep.
2 hopper cars that are painted in the paint scheme, and then the locomotive that's painted in the bicentennial. I'm still after the caboose that goes with the set. I want to find it at some point, but it's just the deal I got on that, dude.
yeah, I've heard about the sale table. It's supposed to be when it's good, it's good.
I'm pretty sure anything that Bobby has bought is from that sales table.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah, he just, he, and then sometimes you'll see 21-inch passenger cars on there for stupid good deals, which is really cool because those are very expensive cars, the sound ones.
Yeah, those are $400 a piece.
I think I seen one for maybe $290. Don't quote me on that, but I think I saw one for $290.
Yeah, I mean it's still a lot, but it's a far cry from the for a Station Sounds diner. That's a good price.
Oh yeah. And if you are looking for something in stock, they normally have it. Those new decapods that just came out, they had every single one, at least like
sure.
5 of them.
Yeah,
I think they still have them. I mean, they got a lot of them. But Seaboard 544, here I come. It's nagging me, man. I need to buy it at some point. I'm hoping to find it at a show one day magically.
I mean, it'll fit your curves too. The Decapod's like 036, which is surprising.
That's the whole reason I didn't pre-order one. I was scared to death it wasn't going to work.
I mean, when I saw that they could do 042, I was like, because I have 042 at my apartment right now, and it's a tight. It doesn't look as bad as I thought it would look when I saw these in the catalog last January. But yeah, they're decent.
The big thing with those is the tether is so tight.
Yeah,
that's why I was kind of nervous about it. It'll clear. The cab will clear easily, and the wheels will too, because the MTH one would work on 036, and it's the same tooling. But the tether, I was so worried about that tether.
And it's just so hard to take off too.
Yes. Oh yeah. It's a very small locomotive. Like seeing it in person though. Mm-hmm. And I think you have the Frisco one, right?
Yep, I have 1630.
Yeah. But I've tore tethers on Lionel locomotives before. My Berkshire, I tore it off one time.
Thanks. Yeah, you can cheat with diesels a little bit more. The steam engines are harder to get on some of those tighter curves.
Totally not me running a ES44 on 036.
That doesn't work.
It does and doesn't. Like the car that you put behind it is what really depends on. Like we couldn't get but one train car to work behind it when my buddy George brought his over. And I think it was like a really long flat car with the couplers that can swing out.
Yeah. We'll just stick with the SD40s, the SD45s, SD70. All the SDs basically run 036.
Except the SD35.
Yeah, it's a little bit bigger.
Well, they put the fixed pilots on it, and that's what messed it up. I've been looking for the Southern one, but they will not work unless it's 054.
Yeah.
It's got fixed pilots. It's not like the ES44s now where they kind of swing a little bit. They're fixed.
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
Yeah, it's a little disappointing, but
we all can't be Eric.
072.
I will say that I'm lucky enough to have 080 and 072 curves, so I don't have to worry about that.
Wow, 080.
Wow, that's a long way from running under the couch.
Yeah, you remember that, huh?
Yeah, I do.
But I kind of missed that. I had fun doing that, but
floor layouts will always be fun.
Oh yeah, my son. Actually, so my son, he's a big Lego kid, so he loves Lego. We have a Lego train set, so we set that up on the floor. And even though I have the big fancy trains downstairs, sometimes it's fun to just sit on the floor with him and run his Lego train, or Carpet Central with all those Lego buildings set up. That's always fun.
Oh yeah, what Lego train does he have?
It's the Lego high speed passenger train. I want to say it's like 15, 16, I think. It's like a white one, has like double-ended engines, like a kind of looks like an Acela.
Ooh,
And
nice.
it's
It's one of the
and it's
one of the old
yeah,
ones.
yeah. It doesn't have it has the old school remote. It's not the new Bluetooth one. It has the old power functions in it.
Yes,
Uh,
those were the best.
yeah, it's a good it's a great little train set. And I actually found another one on eBay. It was like half a train, so I got the parts for it, and I went up, cobbling together enough of those pieces to make two more passenger cars for it.
Oh yeah. If you haven't checked it out yet, I know we're getting a little off topic from train shows, but there's a company on Amazon called Nifeles or something.
Oh,
They
dude,
sell off-brand Lego trains, and they're
mm,
fantastic.
it's like I told you, I'm only allowed to have one expensive hobby, and
Yeah, they
unless they run an O gauge track, I don't think I'm going to be able to do it.
yeah. I think I got like a C&O Yellow Belly that's almost to scale in Lego, and it was like 40
Yeah,
bucks, and it was like 1,500 pieces.
no, I have their big boy. It's been sitting in my cart for like 6 months, sitting there. Do I buy it? Do I not buy it? What am I going to do with it? Where am I going to put it?
Oh yeah, they got it
I,
for a good deal.
they do. I've seen it. It's sitting there. It's every time I go to check, it's still sitting there calling me, buy me, buy me.
Oh yeah. So, what are some train shows that y'all are planning to go to this year?
Well, Springfield in 2 weeks, and then since Train Fest in Milwaukee's coming back this year, I'd like to go to that in November.
Yeah, I'm shooting for York this spring. I don't know about October yet, again, because it's a long ways off and not sure how it conflicts. And then I hope to hit Greenberg in 2 weeks with my dad. That's always a good show to go to. We like to go to that together. I think that's about it, really. One, I'm out of space. I just don't have more room for stuff. I can't buy any more trains. I got to start selling stuff off. I've literally maxed out capacity in terms of storage.
Yeah, I'm getting there a little bit. I'm having to buy more shelves.
There's always room for more trains.
I
I'm
don't know.
considering. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
You know those metal shelves that you can put locomotives on and stuff? I forgot who makes them.
Oh, Mr.
Oh, yeah,
Train.
like that you mount on the wall. Yeah.
I'm considering those. I haven't bought them yet because I have cats, and that scares me. Because cats, they'll jump on anything, like literally anything. So I'm a little freaked out by the idea that there's not much room that's holding the locomotives, but it would save a lot of space from what I have right now. So it's a little tempting.
I mean,
I'm
you could
kinda glad you
also.
mentioned that because I have cats. I know you probably seen my cats jumping in my videos, but I don't have any shelves yet, and I didn't even think about if they're gonna jump on the shelves if I put them up because they won't hit my trains when they're running or even when they're just sitting around. But I never even thought about that with the shelves.
Yeah, like if they try to jump on it and latch onto it, if they pull the locomotive off with it.
Oh, that would be horrible.
That's a scary
Yeah.
thought.
If I was to break my 542, I would cry.
I'd cry for you.
Yeah,
So would
same.
I.
You've spent so
The
much
only-
time on that thing.
It's the only one in existence, and it's the most accurate O-scale model of it ever. It's just, it'd be freaky to break it. But yeah, those shelves, I'm hoping, like, if I can find one for a good deal at a train show, one of those shelves just happens to be there.
I think they're called
Might
like
just
Glenn
buy one to
Snyder or
test.
something like that.
Huh?
They're called like Glenn Snyder shelves or something like that.
Yes, I think that's what it was. Where they've got the grooves in them and they're made out of metal.
Right. Yeah.
Hoping to find those. So the two shows that I've got coming up is the Hickory Train Show in Hickory, North Carolina. Not sure what the actual name of the show is, but that one is confirmed. I'm going April 5th and 6th. And that one I have not been to before, but I've heard it's very large. It's the whole convention center is rented out for it. So we'll see what all I can find. Hoping to budget myself. If not, Bobby will be hiding somewhere there and will murder me. So, but for anybody who doesn't get it,
Just
Bobby
buy a
bullies
tree to
me.
make him happy.
Oh yeah, Bobby bullies me for scenery unless you do what I did and I bought him a G5 T-shirt, and then he doesn't care what you buy. But and then the upcoming show that has not been confirmed on the dates yet, but my buddies who work there kind of have an idea of it, is the Spencer Shops train show, where they actually do it in the Spencer Shops at the North Carolina Transportation Museum. They have 6,900 just sitting there casually inside the building. I mean, It's really cool. And it's in the big back shop where they'd overhaul steam locomotives. That one's the most magical show I've been to, because it's really cool going to a show, but it's even cooler when it's inside of a 1900s building that they used to overhaul steam locomotives in.
Oh, yeah. I would imagine.
A whole different feeling. Trying not to trip on the train tracks that are in there while you're walking with the trains. But yeah, that one's coming up, and same day there's Cheerwine Festival. You know me. We're gonna buy a lot of Cheerwine. But so yeah, that one's coming up. I'm excited about that. And that's where I found that Southern SD24 set. So I'm gonna go back to that guy, see what he's got this year.
Make sure you buy yourself a Cheerwine bucket hat.
Oh yeah, I walked around the show with a Cheerwine. I'm sure if you ask Austin or somebody, they'll tell you. I walked around with a Cheerwine the whole time.
So briefly off topic really quick, but Caleb, you'll probably find this interesting. So at Monticello one weekend, I was talking with our CMO, and we were talking about Southern 401, the consolidation that we run at our museum.
Yeah.
And our CMO, Kent, was telling us that 401 actually has parts from 385, because the two may have ended up in Spencer at the same time.
Yep.
So I think 401 has one or two axles from 385. It had some of the running gear from 385. But yeah, just a little fun fact that I found out not too long ago.
Oh,
that's
wow.
Cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of parts that are shared from a lot of things. I think the only, I know this is totally off topic, but the locomotive that has the most chance of being restored there is 542.
That would be cool. Another Southern consolidation.
Yeah, they also have the shade that I think they're working on right now.
The Jimrin one.
Yes, it's taken, they've got the shrouding off of it right now. Last time I seen, but hopefully that one's restored, because it would be kind of cool to see a Shay in a roundhouse.
Yeah.
But they have a whole shop there. They're restoring an F40 right now to be basically a makeshift cabbage unit.
Hey, hopefully someday we can have a Southern Steam meetup at Spencer, because I thought that was the plan at one point.
Oh yeah, I think 630's been there before.
Has it?
630's been to the train museum. Yeah, I'm trying to remember when, but it's been a long time ago. Did everyone the shows that they're going to?
Yeah, actually, Corey, you said you've been to the Becca show. How is that? I find it hard to get to, because it's super early on a Saturday. It's not a whole lot of time to get to it. It's a little bit of a drive for me. So is it worth going?
The Metka show, you can find good deals. It's not big at all.
No.
It's a small room. I think it's about 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 rows of vendors.
Yeah.
It's in the the auditorium of a Catholic school or something like that. It's a really small show, but I have found good deals there. But I mean, if you're doing a long drive, it might not be worth it for you.
It's almost an hour 45, so I'm not sure if it's worth that.
I don't know if you would want to.
Something like that.
You call it? Dakman Production. Sean, he always comes, but he covers it and he knows the guys. So even if he's not buying anything, he lives in South Jersey. He always comes. But okay. I don't know if you would want to do that, because like I said, it's not a big show. It's maybe, like I said, about 4 or 5 rows, and it's not that deep. But I have found deals there.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of supporting for the New York area. There really isn't a whole lot of trains in general are not a big thing as they used to be, at least physical, like shows and stores. No. It's hard for, despite being, the capital of so many other things, there's very little physical train places to go visit anymore.
I don't even know if there's any shows in New York, because I always go to the shows in Jersey. Like the Metka show is maybe 10, 15 minutes from my house,
Okay.
So that's why I don't mind going.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I would drive like an hour and a half to go to that.
Yeah, so there are in New York, but they're further. Like, there's a big show up in Albany every year, but that's a 2-hour drive for me. And then there's a really big show up in Rochester, but that's like 6 hours. I'm not driving all the way up there just for a show.
Yeah, exactly. I know about where. Well, I know where they're at, Albany and Rochester. So
Yeah, there are big shows up there, but yeah, the metropolitan area, there's really nothing to go to.
No.
There's no, except for Edison when it comes through, and even then, it's
yeah,
not
that's
as good as it
still-
used to be.
and that's still Jersey. Like New York itself has no shows.
No, nothing. So you guys are lucky. You got, Chicagoland and the Carolinas. You guys have a lot more train access than we do here. So you guys are lucky.
Yeah, definitely, y'all are lucky.
It
I
is
actually
not-
went to the Greenberg show in Philadelphia one time because I got a friend that lives in Philly, and I was down there. My mom used to live in Philly, and I was down there visiting her. And he called me. He's like, "You down here with your mother, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "There's a train show." He's like, "Greenberg is this weekend. You need to come with me." So I was like, "Ma, I'll be back."
How was it? How was it compared to Edison? It was about the same.
It was good. I kind of like Edison better,
Okay.
but I mean, it was good. It wasn't bad. I think I like Edison better just because I was used to it,
Yeah. Yeah.
But it wasn't bad at all. I spent a lot of money in the Philly show too. So
So I guess it was just fine.
yeah.
All right.
I'm
Well,
sad I missed. Real quick, I'm sad I missed the Asheville train show this weekend, but it's a whole 3.5 hour drive for me, or it might just be 3 hours, but it's a long ways up there. So sad I missed it, but people looked like they had a good time.
Got a budget for that scenery.
all right. Well, I think that's all the time we have for today. Yeah, thank you guys for doing this again. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for tuning
Definitely
in.
fun.
Thank
I'm
you
glad
for
I made it.
listening.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
All right, we'll see you guys in the next one.